Introducing Ectolife, the world's first artificial womb facility, powered entirely by renewable energy.
These are the baby farms, and the child that grows up entirely artificially, will it even have a soul? There will be 75 laboratories and each will contain 400 artificial wombs. They plan to produce 30,000 artificial babies per year. Why so many when at the same time they claim to want population reduction? Well, we will understand why once we connect this with the previous Great Reset. At this point of their video, they convey that we will live in 15-minute cities which will be called zones. How slyly they present it. It says you can track your baby's health from your cell phone from the comfort of your zone. You can clearly see this in the subtitles on the company's Ectolife video. Look, they say, from your zone. The baby will have internal speakers and will be able to hear you when you speak. There will be a camera that will record 360 degrees so that you will be able to go into virtual reality and see what your baby is seeing. Also, you will be able to wear this vest that you see on the screen, with which you will feel as if you were pregnant, and you will be able to feel the child kicking. Anyone you want can wear this vest and feel your baby. Meanwhile, they market this very cleverly. They say that there will be two tubes, the green one that has all the nutritional materials for the baby, and the other tube where all the baby's waste and toxins go, which however are immediately exchanged and made into nutritional materials again. And the best nutritional materials go back to the baby. If you want your baby, your child, to stand out in the future when it grows up, then take the elite package to do the genetic modification to the embryo. You can choose from 300 genes. So with the elite package, you will be able to choose the color of the eyes, the type of hair, the skin tone, physical strength, height, and even the level of intelligence. If you have any genetic conditions in the family that are pathological, you will be able to organize from the elite package so that they are not transferred to the baby. So, of course, everyone will choose these guys, and the gynecologists will suggest them, of course, or they impose them. Here the birth will be done with the pressing of a button. You can also do a test to see if this child is really yours. And you can get the machine at home without having to visit the factory, because there are special batteries. And this is the guy who made all this. And as he presents it in the video, he says that this is a study that started in 1950. But we will see that this existed much, much earlier. So there may be another darker reason why these farms are being built. Let's look at the past, because history is usually repeated. In the past, in 1850, it was said that there was another Great Reset in which the entire population was destroyed. That is why we have photos from empty cities everywhere. Photos in which we do not see a single person. We can see some animals in the photos. And why is this important? Because some say no, because the cameras of that time were long exposure and whatever moves is blurred. But we do not see blur in any photos. And the animals were moving. They were not completely motionless. So why do the animals appear? We see that here is a pony. Why we see that there is no smoke in the chimneys? We do not see anything, nothing, not a single person anywhere. Why? Why not a single person anywhere? So it is not what they say about long exposure, is that they were empty cities. As you can see here, there are two cows and they are visible in the photo. Only in a photo of St. Petersburg do we see very few people, because that is where the new Freemasonry was established. There we see few people posing. Everything else is empty, abandoned, absolutely nothing, not even a soul on the street. It is amazing. The Great Reset has taken place. This is what this theory says, and the entire population has been destroyed. The entire population has been killed. You see all the photos from that time. The cities are completely empty. And what they say about camera issues is not true, because we also have older photos where the streets are full of life, people are moving, and still they appear clearly in the images. So there was the Tartarus Empire, the kingdom of Tartaria, which had all these wonderful buildings, and suddenly everything was destroyed. In fact, many of these huge, incredible buildings had been built just a little before they were destroyed. Why? Why to have been built some time before they were destroyed? Isn't that very strange? Like this one here in Missouri, which was destroyed very quickly, and this ugly building appeared in its place. And these wonderful buildings were not built again. And these old ones had free energy. They were illuminated everywhere. They had amazing technology. They had ghost machines where you could talk to the dead and see them in front of you. The dead as holograms. They had amazing technology. See what amazing technology we had then. We can see giants everywhere in the old photos. And why are all the doors in those old buildings so enormous? Imagine living there, how it was then. And of course, you are waiting to see how baby farms relate to the past and what worries us about the present when the new big Great Reset comes. Because this theory says that this previous Great Reset happened before 250 years, and that these great resets are happening every 250 years. The population is destroyed and new artificial babies are born every time. So here on the left you see the artificial wound of that time. Many say that they were just machines for children who were very weak, etc. But this theory that we are examining today says, and there is a lot of evidence, that since there was no population, where were these babies found? They also write in the newspapers of that time that 30,000 babies were in that machines per year. And somewhere else in the newspapers writes again that 30,000 per year were born. This number reminds us of what today's artificial wombs tell us. And today they tell us that 30,000 babies will be born from artificial wombs per year. So why does the sign there say with living babies? All this is very strange, and there were a lot of babies. There were 200,000 children, orphans, who were transported by train. It was a lot. This map shows the number of orphans who were transported to various states from 1853 to 1910. And what happened to all these parents? What happened to the parents of 200,000 children? These children were something worse than slaves because they worked constantly for free and they all looked almost the same to each other. And of course the theory says that because they were artificial children, they did not have a soul. And that is how we got to the point where now the researchers tell us that 96% of the population is organic portals, the soulless people. The theory says that they choose who were the smartest and who were the most clumsy. And the most clumsy were the children slaves, and they had them to work, and the smartest were given to the rich. The theory says that only the elite had survived, and you can see here in the photo a rich man who chooses children from these smart, well-dressed ones. So the question is, why is all this happening now again after 250 years? What is happening? And we saw in another video Sadhguru who says that he wants reduction of the population, and we saw the World Economic Forum saying the same. And why they want the depopulation and then they want repopulation with 30,000 babies per year. So are we exactly at the same point where humanity was back then? Should we think very carefully about what is coming? Please do not forget to subscribe to this channel, to like and share this video so that other people will be informed about all this. And tell me, please, your opinion. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.